Women are an essential part of global value chains, yet women continue to face barriers to achieve their full potential at work, in the marketplace, and in many other aspects of life. There are a number of problems that women have to face in our society. They are restricted from working in a place where they would have to work long hours. It is seen as something negative if a woman returns home late from work. The society is too concerned about the safety of women. Many discriminatory practices and beliefs exist in the society which hampers full participation of women in the workplace. What this does is that it not only holds women back, it impairs the growth of businesses, economies, and communities. Now, as for the three big actions, just as there is no single solution to women's empowerment, there is no single strategy that all companies can employ. However, every company can act in areas where it has direct control to benefit women in its own operations and throughout the value chain. Now, they can also enable and influence others to drive change by incentivizing, partnering, and communicating with others in the industries and supply chains, thereby influencing the broader market. Now, in order to ensure that women develop and maintain a presence across the value chain of Unilever, my first suggestion is free transportation system and fixed working hours for all employees. A very common issue in our society is that people believe women must return home from work early. The primary reason behind this is concerning the safety of women. People think it is not safe for women to get back home from office at late hours, which in case of our country is actually true. There currently is an option at Unilever for employees to schedule a vehicle to get a ride back home. However, what this does not solve is the issue of women getting back home late. A free pickup and drop-off facility for women can be established. The transport would pick up and drop off female employees from and to their home. The transportation system should also have a fixed schedule and time limit for the last trip. Due to this time limit, women would get a leverage to leave the office on time, and thus this would help them avoid criticisms from the society. Even in the internal management, no meetings should be held outside of work hours, so women can avail the option of working from home, which is my second recommendation. So my suggestion for the second big action would be officially enabling women to work from home. A noticeable challenge that the working women of today faces is a work-life imbalance. Their personal life tends to suffer due to work commitments or vice versa. Family tends to feel neglected after endless nights of staying late at the office to complete an all-important project. Or on the other end of the spectrum, women still find themselves in the same dead-end position years later because they have to leave work on time to pick up their kids from after-school activities and so on. This creates a huge problem for women in climbing their career ladder. In order to address these issues, Unilever should make it official for women to be able to work from home. A portal can be created where the female employees would have to log in to start their work from home session, and the portal would track it. So HR and line managers can note the time frame. So the HR would be able to supervise these home sessions as well. This would enable the female employees to get back home early, finish the work that they were supposed to back home, and contribute to the company. Final major action would be establishing an official application for women. A very common problem faced by women in our patriarchal society is harassment. With the recent Me Too movement, many women are coming forward with stories about them getting harassed, and there are many cases where they are getting harassed in their workplace. These are very common scenarios in companies where women get harassed by their supervisor or even fellow co-workers. These harassers do not always hurt a victim physically, but might make comments that make the victim very uncomfortable. What happens in these situations is that women find it difficult to decide whether the issue is big enough to file a complaint against the harasser and talk about it with someone face to face. So in this case, an Android app would be extremely helpful. The app would be strictly monitored and controlled by the Human Resource Division. Female employees would be able to use this app to file a complaint against the harasser by filling a complaint form where they would be mentioning the names and actions of the harassers. The HR would be notified immediately, immediately after a complaint is filed, and proper and swift actions would be possible to make. I would also like to suggest to add an HR business partner specifically for women employees that look after their safety in the field, factory, and the head offices as well. I believe taking these actions would attract a number of women to enter the workforce and therefore result in an increased participation of women across Unilever's value chain.